I'm Jocelyn. I'm excited because today we're going to make a delicious dish, Mexican food. It's called simply Tamale Pie. It's on page 435 of Fast Easy Vegan. If you don't have it, no worries. We're covering every aspect of the recipe, so just pay attention and cook along with us. Here we go. I'm starting like all the everything's from scratch. I need a frying pan, actually a deep skillet or a soup pot or something, because you want to saute stuff for a while. Okay, tamale pie, red bell pepper. Let me show you how this is cleaned. I mean, there are many ways to do it, obviously, but this is a particularly simple one. And for a pepper that's like all kind of distorted and funky, this is very easy, because this way you just split it down the middle, pull out the seeds and the membranes, and it's ready to chop. So that was pretty easy. Some seeds hiding in there. Ooh, you little guys, get out of there, I see you. All right. What we're trying to do with this red bell pepper is just dice it up. Nothing too small. You want to have bites of flavor in this dish. And because it's a Mexican dish, oh yeah, you're going to have some flavor. And it's not all about heat either. Now, I like heat as much as the next guy, but I also like mild. There's all kinds of flavors in this dish. Okay. So that's done. We can throw those in our hot pan. Let's get those half pound of sliced mushrooms in there too. And next we want to dice up an onion. That will also go in there. And this is how I do my onions. You wouldn't learn this technique in culinary school, I'm sure, but it works for me. It's fast, I like it. I've been doing it for many, many years, so yeah, I don't need to learn any other ways. So if you have your favorite way of peeling an onion, darn it, you stick with it. Okay. Just rough dice. Okay. I must say, finding fresh mushrooms in this town is quite the challenge. And I eat a lot of mushrooms, so I'm always on the lookout. Okay, so these things are, and I'm going to put some salt in here too to help them start leaching out those all-important juices. Getting those onions soft. So now while we're doing that, let's look at the rest of the ingredients, because we have a different step here. We're going to put the rest of this stuff into a food processor. All right, let's see. I'm reading the instructions. Now, we also want the corn. Come on, let let go. We want the corn and the can of chilies, 4 ounces. Oh, I didn't tell you about this. A 15-ounce can of corn or equivalent in frozen. A 4-ounce can of chilies. Now these are mild because that's just what I'm in the mood for. But I'm usually in the mood for hot, which you can also get. So we want these in the pan. Our mild chilies today. One of the reasons I put mild chilies in is because I have some hot chili powder to add to it in a minute. So, okay. Mushrooms and onions cooking away with all of our other stuff. Okay. So now, what we want to do is add in a half of a brick of soft tofu. It doesn't have to be silken, but soft is better because, well, you'll see. It's been draining. Hang on. Yeah. The soft tofu will get very, very, very creamy, like a sauce. And so we're putting that soft tofu in our food processor. And then we're going to add 1/4 cup of cornmeal, 2 tablespoons whole wheat or whole wheat white flour, a teaspoon of chili powder, any kind. Well, I like chipotle because of the heat and the smoke. So that's always my choice. But you can get powdered mild chilies like ancho powder or, I mean, there's tons of them out there. And a teaspoon of baking powder. Whoa. To our mix. Now, I'm going to give that a buzz. And when it's time to put into the casserole dish, when this has cooked down, what I'm doing here is I'm cooking this until all the juice has reabsorbed and evaporated. And the onions are done and the mushrooms are done. So yeah, they've got a ways to go. It might be another 10 minutes or so. So we'll take a look again at that. And then we'll put it in our casserole dish and stick it in the oven for a while. All right, so let me run down those ingredients one more time. 1 red bell pepper diced, 1 onion diced, 1 can of corn kernels drained, 1 small can of green chili, hot or mild, 1/2 pound of mushrooms sliced, 1/2 brick of soft tofu, 1/4 cup of cornmeal. I don't need to be looking at my belly. 2 tablespoons whole wheat flour or white flour or whatever I mean, it can be chickpea flour, it can be whatever. A teaspoon of chili powder, any kind you like, and a teaspoon or to taste. A teaspoon of baking powder, a teaspoon of salt or to taste. A lot of you don't use salt. I respect that. So, you know, either use it or don't, but it's to taste. All right, so let's talk again in a minute when everything's ready for the next step. Hi, yeah, so it's been about 10 minutes and the pan is pretty dry. Everything's looking cooked. So I blended that other stuff up and now we're going to mix it into our pan. So then what we're going to do is pop it in the oven, but only for a half an hour. So I preheated the oven to 375. I'm going to turn this off. sounding like it's wanting to burn. Yeah, so the oven's waiting, it's ready. This is our little batter that we made out of tofu and spices. Okay, now you want to mix it in there because obviously this is kind of the glue that holds it all together. It's really a very small little casserole. So I put it in a small dish here, or I'm about to. This dish is about 7 by 10. So yeah, for a casserole, kind of small. But the thing with my recipes, they're so easy if you want to. You can double, if you find a recipe you really love, double it. Freeze the rest of it. Okay. Yeah, cook once, eat twice. I like it. Okay. You hear some heavy breathing in the background there? That's Bix. He came home. He found a really nice ball at the park with a squeaker in it, and nobody owned it, so I let him take it home. By the time we got home, the squeaker was gone. But it still like swooshes air, so he's going to be happy for days with that. All right, there we go, ready to pop in the oven. And so I will do that. 30 minutes. 30 minutes, just until it gets brown on the top. We'll talk then. I'll show it to you. We'll dish up. We'll eat together. All right, it's time to pull our little casserole out of the oven and plate up. Always the best part of any recipe. Let's see. Okay, now this isn't the most beautiful dish you've ever seen, but it's not really that bad either. It looks inviting. I want to try it. So let me find my spoon. Now with this, oh, it's got a lovely consistency. And honestly, every recipe in my book has been taste tested like 2 or 3 times. So I like them all. Okay, here's our dinner with steamed broccoli, and when those 2 things are done, big plate of salad. That's my dinner style. Overeat every night, but on the good stuff. So enjoy it. Bon appetit, and we'll cook together soon.